Guest, who is an internationally recognized author and speaker. Michael Angelo Caruso has taught thousands of leaders and salespeople to be elite presenters, having delivered thousands of presentations. Michael's visited over 5 continents, 49 of the 50 states, and a number of provinces here in Canada. To name just a few of his clients, they include the Bank of America, Hallmark, National Institutes of Health, Verizon Wireless, and the United States Navy. It's an interesting quote. I found the president of Creative Discoveries Training in Detroit says of Michael, he's a captivating speaker and inspirational writer. Michael draws from a wide variety of knowledge to help create positive growth and change with individuals and organizations in which they work. He's a past district governor, member of the Troy Rotary Club in Rochester. Michael's partner, Renee, is also a Rotarian and helped their club earn the Rotary citation with platinum distinction when she was a club president last year. He has, however, not won the Little Person of the Year award. From their lovely home in Rochester, Michigan, welcome Michael Angelo Caruso. Michael.
Thank you very much, Ken. What a pleasure to be with all of you today. It is an amazing, amazing event. I am stunned, actually. I know a lot of people jumped into the Zoom swimming pool all at the same time. And we're seeing a lot of firsts, but to be on the call with you today is just amazing. And this will be a template for Rotary International moving forward. I can promise you that. So let's zoom back, rewind a little bit to early March. I was on the speaking circuit heavy for Rotary. I had 5 PETS trainings to speak at president-elect training seminars. And this is about the time that people were starting to make these uncomfortable jokes at the cocktail hours. You know, let's not shake hands. Let's not stand too close. The pandemic had not been declared yet. And nobody knew exactly what was coming down the pike. I'm not sure we could have done anything different as Rotarians at that time. But what an interesting turn of events it's been. And has this been the longest April ever? So bravo to everybody that's got their chin up and making things work. We're all in problem solving mode right now. And it's so delightful that District 5060 has figured out how to hold a conference and have 242 people. Have you been watching the attendance? In your Zoom interface down below, you can watch how many people are logging in. It is amazing. And the video,
sorry, Michael.
Yes.
Can I ask you to throw your video on for us, please?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, he's got 2 screens. One has a video, one does not.
I see. Can't see anything.
That's okay. So a little trick here. I've got my audio in my. So I've got a good microphone with this, it's called close mic technique, something for all of you to think about if you're presenting on Zoom later. And that's why you're not seeing my video. The phone doesn't have video, but the computer, the webcam is showing the video. Thank you. So, and that's just like real life presentations where people just interrupt you. Congratulations to Governor Peter Schultz and Kathy. Kathy and I have been chatting about this conference for over 2 years. I know they've put a boatload of attention to it. $35,000 in sponsors, well done. We've really moved the physical template over to virtual. And I, for one, think it's only temporary. I do think that we're going to find clever ways to use video in the future for committee meetings, inclement weather, things like that. But I do think eventually we're going to get back to these physical meetings where we can see each other and hug each other and enjoy each other's company. I think that's in our future. Meanwhile, we have a lot of problems to solve. And one of the problems when solving problems is that we discover things that are broken maybe, or maybe a little worse than we thought they would be. And I think that you'll enjoy a little story I want to tell you about 2 Rotarians that went golfing one time. And they were older guys and octogenarians, and they're getting ready to tee off. And you know how men as we get older, we share about our various body parts and how they're not working as well as they used to, unfortunately. And the first guy's getting ready to tee off, and he says to the other guy, listen, my eyesight's not as good as it used to be. I'm going to need your help tracking the ball after I hit it. He says, you know, I've still got a pretty good drive and I can't quite see the ball after I hit it. The second guy says, no worries, my eyesight is near perfect. I got other problems, but my eyesight is fantastic. The first guy says, good to know. He tees off and he hits the ball a good 275 yards. That's a pretty good drive for a guy who's 80 years old. And he says, yeah, see, I told you, I can't see it all where it went. Did you see where it went? And the second guy says, I sure did. They're getting ready to get into the golf cart and drive to the ball. And the first guy says to the second guy, you saw where the ball went, right? Second guy says, yeah, I sure did. And the first guy says, well, where did it go? And the second guy says, I forget. So sometimes when you're trying to solve one problem, you discover a second problem. And I think it would be good now that, you know, once we get clear of the COVID-19 fog, that we go to work sharpening and fixing some of the other problems that were pre-existing, right? It's a pre-existing condition in Rotary. Some of the problems that we have in delivering the quality Rotary experience that would keep visitors coming back for the second and third visit, that would keep visitors in our, what we call in the sales trade. I do a lot of sales coaching. In the sales trade, it's called a sales funnel. And we want visitors who come to visit us, we want them dropping into that funnel and coming out as members. That's the whole idea. And that awaits us after COVID's done. And so today, in honor of this, the virus, I'm presenting to you 13 ways that you can keep your Rotary Club from getting sick, so sick that it never recovers and gets healthy again. And we know that there are clubs that are in this condition right now. So we're going to do this with a bit of cheeky humor. But I want you to take some notes here because there are 13 of them. And I'm going to give you real-time practical tips for going back from this conference experience, going back to your clubs and figuring out how to make your club experience better for everybody. So technique number one is to neglect the food. If you neglect the food and the hospitality, you're going to have future problems in your club. I know that there's been a lot of talk about minimizing Rotary, you know. Let's cut out all of the dues and the expenses and the food and the drink and the meals. Let's just go Spartan, man, you know, because that's better. And I'm not sure I agree with that. I think we need to take care of our visitors. We need to take care of our members. And I think if you neglect the food and the hospitality and that niceness that comes from getting together, I think we're going to have problems with the clubs that do that. Number two, don't pay attention to local businesses. In an aging organization, it might be natural to think and give a lot of attendance or a lot of attention to seniors and retirees, because that's the demographic that an aging organization caters to. And when that club stops catering to local business, you'll become less attractive to local business. My club, the Troy Rotary Club of Michigan, just signed up so I'm still getting a text message that you cannot see me, but you see video, yeah? I'm only looking at one image here. Lisa Wakefield, give me a thumbs up if you can see me.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good, Michael.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. So my club, the Troy Rotary Club of Michigan, we signed a pretty big local company to a membership to the club. And I'm constantly reminding my club, you know, these people are in a different gear than our folksy retiree club. We need to keep the meeting moving forward, right? We can't take 6 minutes to do a 50-50 drive, right? Keep it moving and provide a good quality Rotary experience for everybody that is in the club. Number three, third way to ruin your club is to not engage youth. We have recently signed up another member, a representative of the Boy Scouts, now the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts organization. And in the 20 years I've been a member of the Troy Rotary Club, I don't think I've seen one scout come into a meeting, ever. And to me, that's like the perfect Venn diagram, you know, scouting and Rotary. And so we've got to constantly be looking for opportunities to engage local youth, get them to come speak, get them to come work on projects with us, get them to bring their parents to meetings. I think it's really important. Fourth way to ruin your Rotary Club is to remain convinced that you don't need to sell Rotary to others. Now, I love Canada, and Canada's a little bit different temperature than the United States in terms of the selling of Rotary. One of the other reasons Canada's got a different temperature is you're better at Rotary, I think, than most of the clubs in the United States. That's my honest opinion. But you're also, most Rotary clubs don't try to like promote the experience. And when I say sell, I don't mean ask people to join right away. I mean, find out what people want and then help them understand that Rotary has what they need. That's what I'm saying. And I think we can figure out a way to do this, but it takes a little bit of effort and constantly thinking about this, that Rotary needs to be promoted. In the old days, we used to just get up in the morning and just figure if we did the Rotary thing, people would join our organization. And those days are gone, man. And I think you'd all agree with me. We've got to be strategic, almost clever about how we promote Rotary these days. Technique number 5 for not ruining your Rotary club, keeping it from getting the virus, is to let other service clubs in your area do the heavy lifting. I hear this a lot, that it's hard to get people to join Rotary in my town because Kiwanis is really the club that everybody belongs to. Well, let's tie this into technique number 6 for not getting sick, is don't worry about, is to let other clubs do the work or let other organizations do the work, like chambers of commerce. So think about those two things together. Don't let other service clubs do the heavy lifting, and hitch your Rotary club. I say hitch your wagon to clubs or organizations with bigger wagons. If you've got a chamber of commerce that's really doing well, do joint events with them. Offer in-kind sponsorships. They might need help with registration. And so you offer to help them, you get an in-kind sponsorship, and then your Rotary meeting that week becomes the Chamber of Commerce meeting. And at the Chamber of Commerce meeting, you get to circulate. Now, don't poach their members, but certainly introduce yourselves and tell them you're with the local Rotary Club. My, that's interesting occupation that you have. Would you like to come speak to our club? I find all of these are fantastic ways to make Rotary Club, your Rotary Club, more attractive in the community. Number 7 is to not worry about first impressions. First impressions are critical. And a lot of times when we set up our Rotary Club meeting, we've been doing it for so long, we don't really think about what people see on the very first time they visit the club. And think about things that you do during the meeting that may not be attractive for people, right? We had an attorney come to visit our club a while back, and we were doing all this protocol, which we always do at the beginning of meetings, Rotary meetings. And every time we announced another piece of strange, what the visitor thought was strange protocol, her forehead furrowed like a cornfield. She said, "What's this now? What's this that we're doing?" Because she wasn't warm to it. She didn't understand it. And I don't know that that's why she didn't come back to visit us, but she didn't come back to visit us. So I think that this is something that we need to be concerned about, which is first impressions. Number 8, don't live in the past. Rotary, in fact, was founded during a time of protocol, procedures, and policies, right? And we are living today in a very casual society, right? And think about this. Most organizations, most people 50, 60, 70 years old, they answered at something called the org chart. We got top-down management, right? Rotary's a lot like this, top-down management. But younger people, the millennial generation, they don't work with top-down or org charts. They work in hives, right? So think about that. The older model is top-down. The newer model is in hives. Look at this. Look how many guests we have today at this district conference. People from all over the world checking in and learning, right? And enjoying each other's company. That's a hive mentality, and that's the new way. So living in the past is not a good idea. Number 9 is a technique for not getting the virus is to shut out the YoPros, shut out those millennials. Keep doing those top-down meetings where the younger people or the people that have the least tenure in the room are not invited to the front of the room. I speak at probably 50 Rotary events a year, and I never charge Rotary for talks. It's my pleasure to do this, but I've made some observations over the years as I do these talks. And I speak at district conference, and like I say, the pets, the 5 pets that I was speaking at this year, the younger presidents, almost to a meeting, tend to sit in the back of the room. And the younger people are never speaking on the microphone. It's always the most senior Rotarians, the tenured Rotarians, the titled Rotarians that get to the front of the room. And I'm going to tell you something about younger people, and we have some on with us today. They like to be recognized. Who doesn't? So to the extent that we can recognize the YoPros, the young professionals, we can bring them closer to us. We can make Rotary more attractive and make Rotary stronger. I'll also be available for Q&A in just a few minutes. Number 10 of the 13 techniques for not having your Rotary Club get the virus is to reject new stuff. Director Jeffrey made a point earlier, and what a delight to have our current director and our future director, Valerie Wafer, on this call with us today. Beautiful. I love to see continuity between leaders. It's a wonderful thing. How long Rotary rejected invitation to do Zoom. And I know this because I brought Zoom to my district, 6380 in Southeast Michigan and part of Ontario, when the year before I was governor, because I wanted a connective platform for my clubs. And so we introduced Zoom to them, and they said, what is this now? What's a webcam? I got questions like that. This was in the year 2015, everybody. So for 5 years, my district's been using Zoom. And there are clubs, and I heard somebody say this earlier, there are clubs that haven't engaged in Zoom. Even now, we're trying to arm wrestle them and get them to actually do Zoom. So we have to stop rejecting the new stuff. And of course, again, in an aging organization, this is harder. So we need the 30-somethings, the 40-somethings. If these people don't have the bandwidth, literally and figuratively, to handle this situation, we need to let the 50-somethings, the 40-somethings show us the way. Very, very important. I'm wrapping up. Number 11, do not ignore outsiders. We've got to be able to borrow from other industries, borrow the best of business. I go to a lot of district conferences. None of the speakers, and I shouldn't say none, some do, but we never reference the best business books on leadership, right? I've said for a while in my talks that TED, the TED Talks, ate our lunch. They ate Rotary's lunch. TED Talks are about 18 minutes. It's the amount of time that a guest would speak at a Rotary Club meeting. All of the TED Talks are highly rehearsed. They're recorded. They're the best speakers around. They go all on YouTube. And TED has grown like this in the period that Rotary has had trouble in North America. So they ate our lunch on the 18-minute talk. So we've got to start paying attention to what's working in other organizations and bring that to our Rotarians. I think they deserve it. The number 12 reason that you could ruin your club is to grow complacent. And so I've started 2 Facebook groups I want to share with you right now. And these groups will drip, D-R-I-P, ideas to you. Write them down because they're going to be really good for you. Ideas. And when I tell you the names of the groups, you'll understand exactly what I mean. The first group is Get the Word Out Now. Get the Word Out Now. And this group is only about 3 things. It will help you grow your club, raise more money, and get attention for Rotary. Do you like those 3 ideas? Grow your club, raise more money, get attention for Rotary. It's a Facebook group. It's free. We have over 1,600 people in it now, and they are the brightest minds in our organization. So they're marketing people, public image people, and we are helping everybody with this, right? A rising tide raises all boats. And the second Facebook group is called Present Like a Pro. We have so many people that are speaking on behalf of Rotary. Many of you who are the players in your district go back to your clubs, and you're the ones making Zoom happen in your clubs, and you're the ones on camera, and you're the ones presenting. I'm going to tell you something I noticed as a speaker coach, because it's essentially what I do for a living. I teach presentation skills to leaders and salespeople. And here's what I've noticed. If you're an average presenter in real life, you are below average on Zoom, because engagement is 10 times harder in Zoom. And if you're missing those tools when you're in front of people live, you're never going to bring them to the camera. And so we share those types of tips in the Present Like a Pro group. And I recognize a lot of the names on the call because I've been looking to see who's with us today. Many of you are already in these groups. Invite more Rotarians to it. These are not bulletin board sites. We're not just posting what we're having for, the chicken dinner. Thank you, Lisa. We're not just posting, a chicken dinner that you can't possibly come to on our website, right? We're giving you practical tips that you can use and put to work right now and make Rotary a better place. Number 13, the last technique for not having your club get sick is to not own your problems. I visit a lot of clubs who like to tell me how great they are. And I think it's good that they have good self-esteem, that they feel good about the club. But if you're bragging about something that happened 5 years ago, you need to do something new. And if you've got, don't tell me your club is doing great if your club membership is flat. That's not doing great, right? Club's either growing or dying, right? It's like a piece of fruit when you pick it off the tree. It's growing on the tree and it's not growing if it's picked. And we need more clubs that are growing. And so you have to own it. And one trick for this, and I do this with the people I'm coaching in the presentations and that sort of thing, is the behavioral psychologists call it the naked look in the mirror, right? It's as if you got up in the morning and you're going to do a full self-assessment, that you take all of your clothes off and you stand naked in a full-length mirror. And if any of you have ever done this, the first thing that happens is your eyes go to all the things you don't like, right? Oh, I didn't see that before. Oh, why is that hanging like that? And you start to dwell on all the things that aren't good about yourself. But remember, when you're looking in the mirror, the best part of you as a person is on the inside. Your best side is the inside. And it's true for your club too. But the club has to have the courage to take the naked look in the mirror and say, we are done being stagnant with growth. We are done having average speakers come to our club. From now on, we're only going to get speakers who have a 2-minute video, a promo video on YouTube, so we can actually see what we're getting before they get there. And these are some of the ways that you can not have your club catch the virus. I hope you've enjoyed my session today. I'm happy to take Q&A, everybody, or do some questions with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Oh, Michael. Man, I'm juggling. My hardware is dying. I have never been involved in such a long thing in the past. My earpieces died on me 15 seconds ago. Thank you for that. Lucky 13 in this time period when a lot of us aren't feeling so lucky. I think that I saw Mary Lane putting a list of everything he said in the chat, and that's good. And I will remind everybody this is being recorded because these are things that I think we all want to take forward. I see one hand up here. Deborah, did you have a question? It's been up for a while. Go ahead and unmute.
Oh, I don't have a question. Sorry. I don't want hands up.
So go ahead, put your hands up if you've got some questions for Michael.
Hey, Marjorie Haas, you want to just unmute and talk to me? That'd be fine.
Hi, Michael. And yes, I would like to become part of your Present Like a Pro group. And how do you become a member of that group?
Fabulous. This is a Facebook group, Marjorie. So you would just go to Facebook and search Present Like a Pro group, and then you can sign up for it there. I ask you a couple questions as you enter the group because I want to help you with what you're interested in, right? This is the key to interfacing with other people. You want to give them what they need. I've said it many times during my talk, and I believe that when I'm doing speaker coaching and presentation coaching, I help you with what you want. So if you want to become more vibrant when you speak, if you want to be able to, maybe you in sales in real life and you want to close more deals, or you want to become a better recruiter for Rotary, I'll help you with that. Some people want to create faster content. I can help you with that. And maybe you want to be better on video, whatever it is, but I would welcome you to the group. Hey, Candace Carlson, you got your hand up. Why don't you unmute and ask your question, please? And tell us what club you're in, Candace. Go ahead. Candace, your bandwidth is failing us, so maybe you have to type it in and we'll answer you that way, okay?
Sure. Can you hear me okay now?
Much better, thank you. By the way, how did you fix that? How did you fix that?
I had headphones, so I turned off my Bluetooth. I might be packing while I'm listening to this, but I find it very entertaining and engaging, so thank you. I am from the Ellensburg Morning Club here in Washington State. And just a quick question for you. I loved the concept of having presenters offer up a 1 or 2 minute video ahead of time before inviting them to speak to your club. Can you talk a little bit about how you recruit speakers? Like, are you engaging, having your members go out and search for speakers? Like, how are you attracting that level, that caliber?
Oh yeah, we have a program chair, of course, but and my club, by the way, is just my club. I like to share the best ideas of all the clubs I know about. I can tell you that the amalgamation best practices for this is you have a program chair who owns the speaker agenda, the speaker schedule, but there is always an APB, an all points bulletin for quality speakers to come to the club, always. And the reason we ask for the YouTube video, it has to be on YouTube because we have to be able to see it. A lot of speakers would say, I have a video, but I have to send it to you. Well, that means nobody's seeing it. I want to see how many views they have. I want to see what kind of comments they have. I want to see how they look on camera because that gives us an idea. So many program chairs, they're just trying to fill the calendar and they book speakers they haven't even seen themselves. And then everybody in the Rotary meeting looks at each other and says, oh, we got another flat speaker today. How does this ever happen to us? So this is the idea. If the speaker doesn't think enough of herself to have a 2-minute video on YouTube, they're probably not the right speaker for your Rotary Club.
Love that. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Any more hands? Any more questions?
Peter, it's Maria Lane. I have a question online. Sandy Whiteman would like to know, how do we find local speakers with 2-minute YouTubes?
Well, the first thing to do is identify the speaker, and you have to get the right spelling of their name, and you have to kind of figure out what they talk about. On YouTube, you can search the person's name, but if the speaker's name is Tom Smith, you'll get a lot of Tom Smiths in the search. So if Tom Smith speaks about fishing, right? Then you search Tom Smith fishing, and then the name of your province or the name of your town or the name of where you think this guy's from, and then it isolates his videos. So that's an easy way to find it. If worst comes to worst, you get Tom Smith on the phone and say, listen, we don't just have anybody come speak to our club, Tom. Don't take this the wrong way, but we'd like to see one of your videos before we have you come out. And that's how Tom knows that he better have game when he comes to see you. Does that help?
Awesome.
Kathy Goheen, what's happening?
Yes, I have a question. Now that we're seeing more information on the environment and Rotary, have you seen any Rotary clubs focus on the youth and bring in younger people because of the interest now in the environment?
I have not. I wish I could tell you I've seen an upsurge, not just because of the environment, but just getting the young person point of view. There are a lot of young entrepreneurs that own their own companies. They're 20-something and 30-something, and they are not, absolutely not prevalent on the Rotary speaking circuit. Blows my mind. And in a lot of cases, they bring the tech with them. They bring, younger people have more energy, they're more fun to watch. So they bring it, and we still don't put them in front of the room. And it boggles me. So I think it's an excellent idea. Thank you for that. Other questions? Go ahead and just unmute.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
This is Malcolm.
Oh, sorry.
I wanted to ask you about member retention in a time like this. It's not just recruitment of new members, it's retaining existing members
100%.
that we also have to be thinking about.
100%. And, so a couple of people have already mentioned that every crisis has an opportunity, right? So this was our big moment to get people to video and teach them to use their webcam and enjoy each other in a completely different way, visiting online like this. I had the pleasure of speaking to the Columbus Rotary Club last week. They do something fun, and it's a big part of their online meeting, is they break off into the chat rooms because Zoom has a chat room feature. So even if your speaker's flat that day, you get a chance to visit and you get clustered with who knows. Just like at a regular Rotary meeting, you find yourself at a 10 top with some people you haven't visited for a while. That's how they're using the chat room for Zoom. So it's wonderful. And I think that this Zoom thing will be, it won't be new forever, right? So we have to constantly reinvent ourselves, constantly be clever about retaining our existing members. It's absolutely essential. And I rank it higher than recruiting. We have to keep the people in our organization happy and go to work on bringing newbies into the group. Thank you for your question.
Maybe time for one more?
No,
Sure.
I have one. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now, Michael, I enjoyed your talk as well. You talked about new generation people and older generation that fall more under hierarchy like we have in the Rotary right now. Now, my big question is, how do we attract young people? I mean, I know they're different, and I know we probably need to change to attract them. Tell me how you would do that.
One of my best pieces of advice for this is to stop asking young people to join your club one at a time. Because even if they're enchanted and they love all that attention that they're getting because they're only 30-something in your club, one day, and it's going to be soon, they're going to look up around and they're going to see nobody their age. And they're going to realize that very few people in the room think like they do. And they're going to be looking for a learning buddy. So I think recruit people several at a time. And here's a technique. You've heard of this idea of satellite clubs where you'd start another club in town. Start the satellite club under the umbrella of your existing club and have those YoPros, those young professionals, embedded in your meeting. In other words, they can sit at their own table if they want. They can run their own show, right? They can elect their own officers. But every so often, maybe every week, maybe it's once every month, they join up with the other group and you coexist. And that's how, see the tongue and groove thing here. That's how they learn Rotary, you see? But they have to do it in clusters. They have to do it in groups and tribes because that's how they're going to grow. And when they have people of the same age, the same demographic, and it's the same thing for people of color, right? You have to find a way to get clusters of these people and this talent. I call it talent and diversity, right? Get them into your group in groups.
Okay, good point. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. I think you're speaking what we need to hear to move forward in the future. And I need to, by the way, also for you and Jeffrey to know that for each of our speakers, we will be putting together a donation to the